This week, the world of cryptocurrency and American politics collide in Nashville, Tennessee at the annual Bitcoin conference. The global gathering is the oldest and one of the largest events in the industry. And for the first time, U.S. presidential politics will be taking center stage. Joining me now is our friend NYU professor and founder of Rubicon Digital Assets, Greg Johnson. Greg, always good to see you. You're going to tell us more about this latest twist in the election season. So first, I've got to ask you, what exactly is the Bitcoin conference and why is it so important within the crypto community?
Well, Jonathan, it's always good to be with you, and thank you so much. Yes, this is a really big deal. And for once, country music is not going to be the biggest thing in Music City. The Bitcoin conference is the largest gathering in the entire crypto industry. And it's been the longest standing gathering centered around the original cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. So as a result of it, like anything, it has humble beginnings, where 10, 12 years ago, it might have been 20, 30, 100 people gathered that were early investors in Bitcoin, maximalists they're called, and it has grown into an industrial-sized conference with all the necessary ingredients to have a big conference. You'll have enthusiasts and investors, Bitcoin miners, there'll be lobbyists there, politicians there, celebrities there, and it really has been one of the most important events in the industry. To give you an idea, they have featured some very big headliners in the past. Nothing like this year, but for example, Peter Thiel with deep Atlantic connections to PayPal has spoken and headlined. Elon Musk, of course. Jack Dorsey, the founder of Square, and of course Twitter, has spoken there in the past. And major news in the industry has broken. This year, at this event, though, it's taken a very, very different turn. For the first time, we're going to see a major current presidential candidates all speaking at this particular conference. The security in Nashville will be unlike anything that the city has ever seen, for sure.
Something huge and something different. We don't usually think of national political candidates campaigning for the so-called crypto vote, but you mentioned that. What exactly has changed for this year's election cycle? That's
a great question, and the simple answer to the question is everything. You know, over the course of 2024, what I call a crypto thaw has descended upon Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. And what I mean by that is for the first time in the industry's history, at least in the United States, we're quite behind other developed nations in terms of how to figure out how to regulate this emerging industry. But for the first time, we've seen a crypto thaw. We've seen legislation be introduced and passed in at least one of the legislative branches in the House, for example, this year. We've seen changes and approvals from the SEC this year that people thought were otherwise unthinkable. And more than anything else, we've seen a political thaw. You have to understand, Jonathan, that whether it's fair or not, and whether it should be the case or not, crypto, like many other topics, has become wildly partisan. And for the most part, with some notable exceptions, Republicans have been more pro-crypto leaning. Democrats have been more establishment leaning. And that is all changed with this election cycle.
And we're going to be hearing from those candidates most likely. How have their views evolved really when it comes to crypto and Bitcoin in particular?
Well, you know, it's truly been stunning and amazing in many respects. First of all, RFK Jr., who is a candidate for president, will be speaking at this conference. He actually spoke last year. I was not in attendance, but I will be this year for all of these events. And his position on Bitcoin has not changed in the least. He's been the most consistent. President Trump was the first to announce of the main candidates of the Democrats and Republicans. He first announced many, many weeks ago that he would be speaking. And his position since 2021 has changed radically. In fact, in 2021, he was quoted as saying, "It weakens the dollar, it's a threat to the dollar." This year, two things are notable. He's evolved just a little bit. And Jonathan, he's not only accepting crypto donations for his presidential election campaign, but he's also called on all remaining Bitcoin to be mined in the United States. So truly a 180-degree pivot. But actually quieter, but even more astounding is the fact that with the Harris campaign now, you're seeing for the first time the Democrat Party at the top of the party lean into tech, lean into crypto. And by all accounts, she will also be speaking to this gathering, something nobody could have foreseen. That tells you how close this election is. It tells you how concerned people are for single issue voters. And that's pretty much where we stand today.
By the way, Greg, enjoy Nashville. I lived there for 7 years. Great city, so the conference will be great, and great restaurants out there as well. So hopefully you get to check them out. All right, Greg Johnson.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Glad to have you. Greg Johnson, our Atlanta source for all things crypto. Thank you so much.